fairness, it must be noted that the use of tactics to inspire emotions is an important skill. Without an appeal to people's emotions, it is often difficult to get them to take action or to perform at their best. For example, no good coach presents her team with syllogisms before the big game. Instead, she inspires them with emotional terms and attempts to fire them up. There is nothing inherently wrong with this. However, it is not any acceptable form of argumentation. As long as one is able to clearly distinguish between what inspires emotions and what justifies a claim, one is unlikely to fall prey to this fallacy. As a final point, in many cases it will be difficult to distinguish an appeal to emotion from some other fallacies, and in many cases multiple fallacies may be committed. For example, many ad hominems will be very similar to appeals to emotion and, in some cases, both fallacies will be committed. As an example, a leader might attempt to invoke hatred of a person to inspire his followers to accept that they should reject her claims. The same attack could function as an appeal to emotion and a personal attack. In the first case, the attack would be aimed at making the followers feel very favorable about rejecting her claims. In the second case, the attack would be aimed at making the followers reject the person's claims because of some perceived or imagined defect in her character. This fallacy is related to the appeal to popularity fallacy. Despite the differences between these two fallacies, they are both united by the fact that they involve appeals to emotions. In both cases, the fallacies aim at getting people to accept claims based on how they or others feel about the claims and not based on evidence for the claims. Another way to look at these two fallacies is as follows. Appeal to popularity. Most people approve of X. So, I should approve of X, too. Since I approve of X, X must be true. Appeal to emotion. I approve of X. Therefore, X is true. On this view, in an appeal to popularity, the claim is accepted because most people approve of the claim. In the case of an appeal to emotion, the claim is accepted because the individual approves of the claim because of the emotion of approval he feels in regards to the claim. Examples of appeal to emotion. The new PowerTangerine computer gives you the power you need. If you buy one, people will envy your power. They will look up to you and wish they were just like you. You will know the true joy of power. TangerinePower. The new UltraSkinny diet will make you feel great. No longer be troubled by your weight. Enjoy the admiring stares of the opposite sex. Revel in your new freedom from fat. You will know true happiness if you try our diet. Bill goes to hear a politician speak. The politician tells the crowd about the evils of the government and the need to throw out the people who are currently in office. After hearing the speech, Bill is full of hatred for the current politicians. Because of this, he feels good about getting rid of the old politicians and accepts that it is the right thing to do because of how he feels. http://www.nizker.org/features/fallacies/appeal to emotion. HTML. Fallacy. Appeal to fear. Also known as scare tactics, appeal to force, ad baculum. Description of appeal to fear. The appeal to fear is a fallacy with the following pattern. Y is presented. A claim that is intended to produce fear. Therefore claim X is true. A claim that is generally, but need not be, related to Y in some manner. This line of reasoning is fallacious because creating fear in people does not constitute evidence for a claim. It is important to distinguish between a rational reason to believe, RRB, evidence, and a prudential reason to believe, PRB, motivation. ARRB is evidence that objectively and logically supports the claim. A PRB is a reason to accept the belief because of some external factor, such as fear, a threat, or a benefit or harm that may stem from the belief. That is relevant to what a person values but is not relevant to the truth or falsity of the claim. For example, it might be prudent to not fail the son of your department chairperson because you fear he will make life tough for you. However, this does not provide evidence for the claim that the son deserves to pass the class. Examples of appeal to fear. You know, Professor Smith, I really need to get an A in this class. I'd like to stop by during your office hours later to discuss my grade. I'll be in your building anyways, visiting my father. He's your dean, by the way. I'll see you later. I don't think a Red Ryder BB rifle would make a good present for you. They are very dangerous and you'll put your eye out. Now, don't you agree that you should think of another gift idea? You must believe that God exists. After all, if you do not accept the existence of God, then you will face the horrors of hell. You shouldn't say such things against multiculturalism. If the chair heard what you were saying, you would never receive tenure. So, you had just better learn to accept that it is simply wrong to speak out against it. Fallacy. Appeal to flattery. Fallacy. Appeal to flattery. Also known as apple polishing, various colorful expressions. Description of appeal to flattery. An appeal to flattery is a fallacy of the following form. Person A is flattered by person B. Person B makes claim X. Therefore X is true. The basic idea behind this fallacy is that flattery is presented in the place of evidence for accepting a claim. This sort of reasoning is fallacious because flattery is not, in fact, evidence for a claim. This is especially clear in a case like this. My Bill, that is a really nice tie. By the way, it is quite clear that 1 + 1 is equal to 43. Examples of appeal to flattery. Might I say that this is the best philosophy class I've ever taken. By the way, about those 2 points I need to get an A. That was a wonderful joke about AIDS, boss, and I agree with you that the damn liberals are wrecking the country. Now about my raise. That was a singularly brilliant idea. I have never seen such a clear and eloquent defense of Plato's position. If you do not mind, I'll base my paper on it. Provided that you allow me a little extra time past the deadline to work on it. Fallacy. Appeal to novelty. Also known as appeal to the new, newer is better, novelty. Description of appeal to novelty. Appeal to novelty is a fallacy that occurs when it is assumed that something is better or correct simply because it is new. This sort of reasoning has the following form. X is new. Therefore X is correct or better. This sort of reasoning is fallacious because the novelty or newness of something does not automatically make it correct or better than something older. This is made quite obvious by the following example. Joe has proposed that 1 + 1 should now be equal to 3. When asked why people should accept this, he says that he just came up with the idea. Since it is newer than the idea that 1 + 1 equals 2, it must be better. This sort of reasoning is appealing for many reasons. First, Western culture includes a very powerful commitment to the notion that new things must be better than old things. Second, the notion of progress, which seems to have come, in part, from the notion of evolution, implies that newer things will be superior to older things. Third, media advertising often sends the message that newer must be better. Because of these three factors, and others, people often accept that a new thing, idea, product, concept, etc., must be better because it is new. Hence, novelty is a somewhat common fallacy, especially in advertising. It should not be assumed that old things must be better than new things. See the fallacy appeal to tradition. Any more than it should be assumed that new things are better than old things. The age of thing does not, in general, have any bearing on its quality or correctness. In this context, obviously, age does have a bearing in some contexts. For example, if a person concluded that his day-old milk was better than his 2-month-old milk, he would not be committing an appeal to novelty. This is because, in such cases the newness of the thing is relevant to its quality. Thus, the fallacy is committed only when the